Your war cost so many lives. I know you think that's a tragedy, but you're wrong. Our planet is overburdened and dying. We're choking on our own filth. You gave us what no one else could. A chance at a better future. If only you stopped there. But you have to make up for your mistakes, don't you? Every life you and your friends save today, 10 lost tomorrow.
How dare you! My people are dying without this energy.
Yeah, but you're killing these people to get it. How does that make sense?
Okay, so everything else that happened in season 4 for the first 3 episodes. If you watched my video about Nolan and Mark and their character progressions, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. But yeah, I just want to make a dedicated video for everything else that happened for the first 3 episodes. So I'm noticing a theme. This is the main thing I wanted to talk about. Like with the enemies, like the lightning lady and the dinosaur dude, they had like a consistency of speaking about how they're doing this for their people and they have to cause destruction here in order to save their people. So in a sense, they're saying your people must suffer in order for my people to live. I wonder why they're making that as a consistent theme for some of these villains, right? I hope these are not random and they're not just all saying that just because, just for the plot, you know? I hope there's a reason and I hope there's like a greater issue that's going to be uprising with the universe. Like maybe it has something to do with like the Vulture was right about conquering some of these planets because without that, then there is no balance in the universe, like on some Thanos stuff. But there seems to be something going on in the background that's lingering, that is like slowly passing through, and you're getting these messages like this. And I don't think, which I hope is not the case, that they're just saying these things for no reason. And I think is correlated to why Mark, at least back in the previous season when Mark went into the future and killed like King Immortal and all that, and he found out his future self left Earth. I think there's a correlation between this theme that's going on and happening and why his future self decided to leave Earth. Because right now, like Mark is so focused, his only mission is to protect humanity. And he has no idea what's going on in the other universes, other realities, what they're going through. Like honestly, he doesn't really care at the moment. But I think over time, maybe not this season, but I think over time, he's going to learn more and more about other groups, other species, and understand their societies, their livelihood, the suffering they went through, and what they need to prosper. Because especially with the Lightning Lady, I don't really feel like she's a villain at all. I feel like the whole time she's just doing what she believes will save her people and her society, right? And I think Mark, especially this version of Mark, would do the same thing if he went to another planet and it's necessary for him to do a little bit of harm to in order to save Earth. Especially season 4 Mark, I think he would be acting the same way as Lightning Lady. Truthfully, like maybe he will explain himself a little bit more to the people, of course, but I believe if there is some resistance and the situation is dire where he desperately needs to do something to another species in order to save his people, then I think boundaries go out the window. So you let me know about that and if that's a relevant thing that's going to be taking place this season or maybe next season. Am I on to something? Am I not? You let me know. But another thing I want to talk about is Oliver. I'm proud of Oliver. Like in my notes actually right now, I put that I'm disappointed in Oliver. And that's because of like episode 3, that time when he was going against a dragon guy. And he like instantly knew that he needed help and he needs to call Mark. He just had Mark on speed dial or Eve in speed dial and just called her instantly, right? Like I was like, damn, like younger Oliver would have like took some pride. He would have had pride, right? and he would have just tried to take it all on his own. But then when I think about it, I was like, no, this is a sign of maturity. Like, I'm really liking the person that Oliver is developing into. Like, teen Oliver is he's that guy. Like, honestly, he's having the transition period that Nolan is having. Like, he's becoming a better person. Like, you remember who Oliver it was last season? Bro didn't care about killing at all. Like, he just doing whatever it takes to get rid of the enemies. Like, he was exactly, not exactly, but he definitely had a lot of traits of season one Nolan. And bro really looked like he had way more Vulturemite DNA in him than Mark. And truthfully, what probably was happening is maybe because he's spending more time with Debbie, with the mother, right? Than even Mark is. It's like as I'm watching these first three episodes, I'm noticing more of Oliver and Debbie speaking to each other and having that mother and son bonding than Mark is having with his own mother this season.
Hi, Mom. What?
You'll be as tall as Mark soon.
Nah, I'll be taller.
We've gone through so much so quickly, I don't think I even realized it. It's like I close my eyes and you're all grown up.
Mom.
Nope, you can't squirm out of this. Your brother's still working through everything that's happened over the last few months.
I know, I miss the way he was.
We can't fight change, Oliver. But we can support the ones we love as they deal with it.
And it's almost like it's like a subtleness to it where the impact the mother has to their child or especially their son's like development and keeping their morality and their values, right? Because we've seen the drastic improvement for Oliver, especially for the first three episodes. And suddenly you also see that you don't really see much conversations between Mark and his mother. So I think that's part of the issue too of why Mark is changing and he's kind of losing himself. Every time he's having issues and he wants to speak to someone about it, the first person he calls is Eve. And Eve is experiencing her own issues as well as they're around the same age. So it's like she doesn't have life experiences to really like help him out as much as his mother, you know? And even though his mother doesn't have powers, she's the one who raised him. Like she knows who he is and she's the one who could help him stay grounded and remind himself who he is as a person. So I think that's really what's helping Oliver develop as a person. Like when it comes to, I think in my last episode for Nolan, I was like, Alan is the MVP, but like here on Earth, like Debbie is really the MVP. Like she's one of my favorite, like feminine, like motherly characters in like all of fiction, truthfully. Like she definitely like the definition of like being supportive and emotionally helping heroes stabilize and, and remind themselves why they're doing this and not losing themselves. So wow, now that I'm thinking about it, I wish I mentioned this in my Mark video, but now that I'm thinking about it, like Debbie might be the solution. Like I feel like he needs to have a sit down with his mother about everything that's going on. Because like I said in that video, Mark just didn't really have time to heal from the trauma. And I think that because Oliver has been able to spend a lot more time with the mother is why he had a better time processing his emotions and developing as a character. Yeah, something to think about. Watch out for like the first real conversation that Debbie and Mark has this season. I hope it happens this season, but watch out for that because that's probably going to be a vital moment that helps Mark not lose himself and rediscover who he truly is and become less like his father, at least from season one, of course. Now, the next thing to talk about is Eve, right? We all know about her powers. We all know what's going on. I hope it's the whole like pregnancy thing is the reason why the whole powers thing is happening. But I gotta say, Mark and Eve having a child, that's too broken. That's GG's. That's too much. Like, that's too much. Imagine mixing those two abilities together. Like, that's way too much. That's way too much. That's the strongest in the universe. I'ma be real. Especially if that child could have both abilities, both powers from both parents. Insane. But yeah, I can't wait to see what Mark's reaction gonna be. He's gonna be extra protective of Eve when that time comes. And oh my god, especially Eve's father, what is he gonna think? You know? I know Nolan is gonna be proud. Is like, even though I'm going against my people, you're still spreading the cause, you know? He's still helping out the cause, Mark, while also making our species a little bit more broken as well. Is there anything else to talk about? I don't know. I don't think so. I think that's everything. Like literally everything else I wanted to talk about for the first 3 episodes. I appreciate you watching. If you watch all 3 episodes, you let me know. I appreciate you for doing that. We'll see what happens in episode 4. So yeah, you let me know down below. What's your thoughts on my whole theory about the whole people are suffering because of humanity living, and how that could suddenly become a problem in the future? And it's probably growing and building for maybe not this season, but a future season to become the overall grand issue of that season, you know? Eventually that probably will be the case. You let me know what you think about Oliver's development as a character, and what you think helped him develop more as a person. I truly believe it's because of Debbie. You let me know what you think about that. And then lastly, Eve. Will Eve get her powers back? Is it because of the pregnancy? How do you feel that child is going to be like if they had both the parents' powers? You let me know. So yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Leave a like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.